I love Tron. Ever since the first bit of marketing for Tron Legacy came out, I knew I was going to get hooked, and hooked me it did. I still remember seeing the poster of Sam Flynn on his light cycle, accompanied by two red light cycles on either side. You know, the bad guys. With an amazing shot of the grid in the background and a beautiful neon lit city in darkness, and I thought, man, I've got to see that. Since then, everything Tron I ate up like it was candy. I bought the toys, played the prequel game, watched Uprising, which by the way, Disney, it would be really cash money of you to bring that back. Cool, thanks. And of course, I went back and watched the original movie. Hell, I even owned the arcade game. It's not often that a direct sequel to a pop cultural movie is able to come out decades later and blow the original film completely out of the water while still respecting the source material and everything that made the original so special. Sure, by the time Legacy came out, everybody's gotten used to the whole concept of CGI and working with it, while the original will always remain an important film for being so technologically advanced for its time. And now, finally, after a decade and a half later, we're finally getting more. You see, despite Legacy going on to become a pop cultural phenomenon, being that movie everyone remembers for the cool glowing motorcycles with light walls coming out of them and everybody had neon lights in their clothes, Disney ultimately canned the Tron franchise because they're greedy and it didn't make the amount of money they wanted at the box office. Which, mind you, Legacy made more than enough money to break even several times. But that's the reason why it took so long to get anything new when it comes to Tron. After realizing that people don't want to keep watching superhero movies every other month, Disney the Mouse finally decided to give Tron another chance, and they really should have done so sooner. With the opening of 2 Tron roller coasters and now finally a third movie that's been in development hell and limbo since forever, we recently got our first glimpse at what it's going to be like, and I have a little theory of what the story is going to be. Tron Ares. Already starting boldly, as the short synopsis for the film states that it's a movie about AI coming to the real world and causing shenanigans and trying to live amongst the humans. Something we already saw at the end of Legacy, and something I really hope they revisit or at least touch on in this new movie. But if you thought the name was bold, well, get a glimpse at our lead guy. As you can see, he's quite different than most other programs, as he has a triangular identity disc, and if you look closely, you'll see that it says Dillinger Systems on it. Now, if you're not up to speed on Tron lore, Dillinger is the real-world antagonist of the Tron series, with Edward Dillinger being the CEO of Encom in the first movie, and the man who stole Kevin Flynn's game, trying to sell it off as his own. And his son, Edward Dillinger Jr., being the chairman of Encom, pretty much following in his father's footsteps of being a dick and wanting to sell a software that'll help the world instead of giving it out for free, which, I don't know, it just kind of seems like a business doing business things. I don't really see too much wrong there. But, you know, they gotta make someone the bad guy. Anyway, point being that in this new Tron film, it seems that the Dillinger family finally managed to take over or run Encom out of business and create their own grid, hence why Ares has the Dillinger logo on him. Could it be that the Dillingers purposely created Ares to export him into the real world so they can have the glory of being the first to create artificial life? Using Ares, parading him around to create awe and convince people to accept AI and for their own personal gain? By Ares simply having the Dillinger logo on him, that is pretty much all the evidence you need to support this claim, but I do have more compelling evidence to support this. In some of these set photos, we can see Ares in the real world, which is a shame because there's so much of the grid that we still haven't seen, and I would have loved to explore that world more, and hopefully we get to see a little bit of this new grid, or hopefully the same one in this new movie, but that's besides the point. He's being escorted around, but what I can only assume to be Dillinger representatives or security, going into a building for some sort of space paranoids convention, most likely as part of some marketing campaign. But that's not my theory. At least not all of it. You see, something just doesn't add up, and I believe Disney's little synopsis for this movie is a lie. or at the very least telling a half-truth. You may have noticed that I've been trying to dance around the obvious fact that Ares is red, which is often depicted as the color the bad guys wear in the Tron universe. In fact, everything involving this movie is red. The main character is red, the logo for the movie is red, and in some shots for a potential chase scene, someone is being chased by red motorcycles, which is probably just a stand-in for light cycles, and even if this movie sucks, it would be really cool to see light cycles zipping around in the real world, so that would be so sick to see. I'm getting sidetracked. So unless they're deciding to flip the script on us and say, surprise, this time the red guy is good, then something doesn't feel right about Ares. The second major red flag is the dude's name, Ares. Now, I could see them going one of two ways with this. My theory is that they're going to do a play off of Ares, the Greek god of war. Someone who turned against his creators in favor of the mortals, and whose creators thought of him as their golden child, a necessary evil. I believe Ares will have a little bit of his namesake when it comes to his programming, as he could be a military combat AI whose true purpose is to be sold as the perfect soldier, starting life as a program to be brought into the real world and then sold to the highest bidder, unbeknownst to his creators that he is sentient and he possesses free will. That's right, folks. I believe that Tron Ares will tell the tale of a purpose-made AI created for war to be brought into the real world as a prototype and paraded around as a marketing campaign, convincing humanity that AI is good while trying to sell him to the highest bidder, only for their perfect AI to turn on them and create a revolution in a name for their freedom. A cautionary tale of humanity's greed and arrogance coming back to bite them as the very thing they created to enslave betrays them. But most importantly of all, this will be Jared Leto's second movie where he stars as an anti-hero with a prominent focus on the color red. But hey, that's just a theory. MatPat, I'm gonna miss ya. But that's the end of the video. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think of this theory, and it's going to be exciting to see what I got wrong and what I got right when Tron Ares finally hits theaters. And while you're down there, let me know how excited you are for this movie, because I know I'm excited. I've been waiting for a new Tron movie ever since Legacy, and that came out over a decade ago. But if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe, as it greatly helps out the channel, and I look forward to making more of these kinds of videos the closer we get to Tron Ares hitting theaters.